Welcome back to the Lowry and the University of Salford graduations. Now the second ceremony in the Lyric Theatre will see almost 350 graduates of Salford Business School and the Revan Centre presented to the Chancellor of the University of Salford, Professor Sir Martin Harris. Each of the graduates will receive their certificate along with a limited edition print from acclaimed Salford artist Harold Riley. Salford Business School graduates choose employment from a variety of different sectors. Graduates from vocational occupations are keen to find employment in areas such as accountancy, business analysis, consultancy, finance, human resources, management, marketing and recruitment consultancy. Other occupations include accounts manager, auditor, charity fundraiser, events administrator, lecturer, logistics buyer and technical instructor. Some graduates choose to continue studying master's degrees or professional courses. There'll also be 2 honorary degrees. The recipients are Angie Robinson and Grant Chapman. Angie Robinson receives her award in recognition of outstanding services to the local and national business community. She is the Chief Executive of Greater Manchester Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber was given the Most Effective Campaigning Award in 2005 for persuading the government to restore £520 million of funding for the city's Metrolink tram service. Angie Robinson co-authored Through the Glass Ceiling in 1993, a book about dealing with the skills necessary for women to progress into senior management. Grant Chapman is honoured in recognition of outstanding services to the events and hospitality industry. Over the last 20 years, Chapman Homes has become one of the country's leading providers of outside catering and corporate events services. The company catered for the official opening of the Conway Tunnel, which was attended by 600 VIPs, including Her Majesty the Queen. To date, some of the clients include the Prince's Trust, Bentley, Barclays, HMV, the National Trust, Ford and the Cheshire Polo Club. And the ceremony is just about to kick off, so join me later.
I declare this ceremony open for the conferment of degrees and diplomas of the University of Salford. Welcome to you all to this ceremony today in Salford's magnificent Lowry Centre, where we gather together to mark the award of degrees to so many of the university's graduands. It's a special pleasure to welcome not just the graduands themselves, but also their families and friends here to share the graduands' pride on this very special occasion. I'm particularly delighted today to welcome two special guests who are being honoured by the university. As Chief Executive of Greater Manchester Chamber of Commerce since 2004, Angie Robinson has worked hard on policy and public relations, becoming one of the most effective movers and shakers in the Greater Manchester region and the voice of local and regional business. It's a particular personal pleasure for me to welcome her today, remembering how many projects we worked together on in the Northwest. Also being honoured today is Grant Chapman. From fish and chips to champagne events, having helped as a boy in his father's fish and chip shop in Salford, Grant Chapman went on to study catering at Salford Technical College, now part of the university, before progressing to become a distinguished chef and then to his present position as director of his own company, one of the country's leading providers to outside caterers and corporate event services. Of both our honorands, you will hear more shortly. Today's ceremony marks a momentous day for our graduating students, celebrated not just here in Salford, but around the world. Last year, the ceremonies were viewed in 77 countries, as well in 206 cities and towns here in the UK. This year also, our ceremonies are being filmed live and broadcast via the web stream around the world. Our university has a rich history stretching back to 1896. Back then, the Salford Working Men's College joined first forces with the Pendleton Mechanics Institute to form the Salford Technical Institute, very quickly the Royal Technical Institute, Salford. The Duke and Duchess of York officiated the opening ceremony, and Manchester's renowned Halley Orchestra turned up to accompany the proceedings. At that time, at the end of the 19th century, mechanical engineering, chemicals, textiles and construction dominated the industrial scene in and around Salford and led to the choice of subjects on offer. A century later, in 1996, the final merger took place to create the University of Salford as we know it today, with a very different range of subjects meeting contemporary needs. I first came to the University of Salford as a young lecturer in 1972, leaving 15 years later as Pro-Vice Chancellor. 5 years ago, I was delighted to be asked to return as Chancellor, and I'm only sorry that this is the last year of my 5-year term. During those 37 years since I first arrived, I have seen so many changes, almost all for the better. Most impressive of all, perhaps, is the physical environment in which we are celebrating today. Here in the former Docklands, we find not only the splendid Lowry Centre, whose grand opening as a Millennium Project in 2000 I remember so well, but so much more besides. And there's one project in particular that I want to allude to, because it says so much about the value that a university can bring to its region when it adds its strengths to those of the community and the nation. I'm talking, of course, about Media City, fast now becoming a reality. The university has signed a contract to lease 100,000 square feet of property next to the BBC, as you must have seen on the way in, right here on the waterfront in Salford Quays, and the University Centre will open in 2011. This development is right at the heart of the biggest single investment in new media ever made in our country and will create so many new opportunities for graduates, our graduates and many others in media-related fields. We've already signed a far-reaching partnership agreement with the BBC, which will open up new pathways into employment in the media industry and develop new talent within our region. The agreement will include new courses such as a BSc in digital technology, enterprise training for our students, and student placements within the BBC and associated companies. This is just one example of our growing involvement with Media City UK project here at Salford Quays, and will greatly raise the university's profile in this most important of contemporary fields. Just as important is the university's ever-growing involvement with the NHS, and thereby with the health and well-being of our fellow citizens. Ever since early work 40 or more years ago on what we then called orthopaedic mechanics, the University of Salford has developed its courses and its research in ways that enable our graduates to serve the community locally, nationally, and internationally in an ever-growing range of aspects of health care. Just to mention one recent example where so many of the things a university can do came together, last November the university signed a £1.5 million 3-year partnership agreement with Skoll, the global foot giant owned by SSL International, the Manchester-based consumer healthcare company. Through the Feet Matter partnership, the expertise of the University Centre for Rehabilitation and Human Performance Research is being used to inform and contribute to the development of products at Skoll. The podiatry team from the School of Healthcare Professionals are supporting Skoll in the provision of its knowledge and its education strategy, and patients everywhere are benefiting. Closer to home, the university's estate's master plan is nearing completion and includes ambitious plans for the complete transformation of the university campus over the next 10 years to enhance the university's infrastructure and thereby our students' experience. Most recently, this has included improvements to the Adelphi Building's dance studios, refurbishment of the Allerton Annex to create art studios, and the development and refurbishment of Acton Square. And importantly, the university has earmarked funds for the creation of a one-stop shop for students within University House to provide a single access point to student services in a contemporary and exciting environment, while elsewhere plans are being drawn up for further refurbishment of central Salford, such as a new Salford Crescent station, which will add hundreds of millions more to the total investment. The university and its partners will be regenerating and will be transformed so that both the university and the wider Salford community will benefit from one of the greenest and most environmentally attractive inner city campuses in the United Kingdom. And now just a few words about Salford Business School, whose students are graduating in this ceremony. This year has seen the Business School focus on the creation of strategic partnerships, deliver cutting-edge postgraduate programs with and for key clients, demonstrating the school's commitments to working with employers to provide customized education and training programs. Two key partnerships that I will allude to are with Capita Simmons for their graduate training and with Salford Primary Care Trust, assisting it to achieve its goal in relation to world-class commissioning, an obvious link with the major role this university now plays as a partner of the NHS. The school's work, particularly in the Management and Management Sciences Research Institute and the Informatics Research Institute, achieved very satisfactory outcomes in the recent research assessment exercise. The contributions of the school's academics in a number of submissions, particularly in business and management studies, library and information management, and statistics and operational research, demonstrated the current and emerging world-class excellence of the school's research. Finally, the school was proud to host the second annual Salford Business School lecture, delivered by Brendan Barber, General Secretary of the TUC. Given the problems the economy is experiencing, it was particularly appropriate to hear the views of such a key national figure on the challenges facing employers and employees and the ways in which those challenges might be met. Let me end, as I began, by congratulating most warmly all those of you who are graduating today. You are now entering the next phase of your lives with your new qualification, hopefully helping you not just to gain personal satisfaction in what you do, but also enabling you to put back into society, wherever that society may be, some of the knowledge and experience you've gained here in the University of Salford. As my own association of nearly 40 years with this great university draws to a close, I would like to remind you that there is no such thing as a former member of the university. You, all of you, like me, are alumni, a member of the worldwide network of Salford graduates for life. Graduands, I salute you. I now invite Professor John Wilson to present Angie Robinson for the degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, Salford graduands, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you today Angie Robinson, Chief Executive of Greater Manchester Chamber of Commerce. Angie attended Westwood High School in Leek, Staffordshire, before studying at Shrewsbury College and then Madeley College of Education. She began her career with the Manpower Services Commission, where she was involved in training, marketing and development. She later became a consultant with Training for Advancement, working in the private sector before being appointed Deputy Chief Executive of Staffordshire Training and Enterprise Council. From there, Angie was appointed Chief Executive of Shropshire Chamber of Commerce, Training and Enterprise and Business Link. During her 2.5 years tenure, the Chamber doubled its membership and established extensive international links. It also secured the contract to deliver the government's small business service activity. In July 2000, Angie was appointed Chief Executive of what was then called Greater Manchester Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It has undergone considerable change since her arrival, most notably in 2004, when the chambers in Greater Manchester merged. With over 5,000 members, it is the largest chamber of commerce in the United Kingdom and recognised as one of the strongest, not least in the areas of policy research and public relations. As Chief Executive, Angie has worked tirelessly on the Chamber's policy and profile, evidenced by the Most Effective Campaigning Award in 2005, when the government was persuaded to restore £520 million of funding for Manchester's Metrolink tram service. Her commitment to the city and the region is obvious, and she has never been afraid to speak out in favour of the things in which she believes. This was shown recently when she criticised the government for reversing its decision with regard to the proposed Manchester Super Casino, describing this U-turn as little short of madness. In addition to being Chief Executive of Greater Manchester Chamber, she is Director of North West Chambers Limited and holds a variety of board-level positions. Most recently, she has been appointed as Commissioner to a 19-strong team to lead partnership work to improve the environment of the city region. The new Environment Commissioners will coordinate a range of organisations to tackle climate change, energy, water, green infrastructure, transport, waste and other issues. The Commission is one of 7 new organisations set up by the Association of Greater Manchester Authorities through a multi-area agreement with the government, an arrangement which could lead to increasing powers being devolved to the city region. And there can be no doubt that Angie's expertise and energy will be enormous assets to its further development. One of the many roles that she fulfills is one for which I'm personally grateful, in that despite all the pressures on her time, she has very kindly and accepted an invitation to become a member of the Business Schools Advisory Council. The Greater Manchester Chamber is a powerful and effective voice for business, and I know that Angie would be the first to acknowledge the contribution and skills of all her colleagues. But in turn, I have no doubts they are in turn inspired by her enthusiasm, passion and ability. Greater Manchester, its businesses and its people are fortunate to have someone such as Angie working on their behalf. Chancellor, in recognition of outstanding services to the local and national business community, it is with great honour that I present for the degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa, Angie Robinson.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer on you the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa, and I'm very delighted.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, graduands, ladies and gentlemen. May I begin by saying what a real honour it is for me to receive this honorary doctorate. Thank you so much. In a way, it comes as no surprise that this university, the University of Salford, is recognising the value and achievements of the business community. For this is a university, as we have heard, whose roots are really firmly grounded in supporting commerce and industry. That's where this university started, and that's where it carries on, and that's where its future is. And whilst we can reflect on the past, and in this part of the world we reflect on our great history as the cradle of the Industrial Revolution and our achievements at the leading edge of economic developments, today is really about looking forward to the future, your future. As today's graduands, you are our future heritage. You are the people who will join our businesses and take forward our economic future. So whilst I'm much further on in my career, although I hope it's not quite at an end, I do recognise that our future wealth and our future prosperity is in your hands. You've learned much in your studies. You know a great deal about the why of business. The next few years will be about the how, and there is still much learning to be done. You're joining the labour force at a time of unprecedented change, both economically and in terms of practices in the workplace. Indeed, some of the jobs that you will undertake in the future may not yet even have been invented. Some of the things that I have experienced over the years, I would like to share with you. My thoughts on what the very best managers and leaders can do. You can do a number of transformational things, but it's contingent on you having the right set of skills that come together to form a really good approach. You will need the ability to innovate, to find new and better ways of doing things effectively. That's going to be vital in these challenging trading times and crucial to our competitive advantage in the future. You will need the ability not to become dispirited. I always say in my own organisation, my very best staff are those who can deal with disappointment in a positive way. They can recover quickly, and they move to solve rather than to moan. It's important that in your roles in the workforce, you provide an example for others to follow. There is absolutely no substitute for hard work. You need to demonstrate your commitment. You need to be resilient. You need to be able to take the knocks and come back from them. And you need to demonstrate your loyalty. You will have to be courageous, and that's courageous when things are going really well and being extremely brave when things aren't going quite so well. If you really want to get the very best out of your people, you need to show that you care. Your empathy, your understanding and encouragement will enable very ordinary people to do some incredible and extraordinary things, and always be proud of your achievements through others. Retaining a sense of proportion and a sense of humour I have found invaluable. Nobody in the workplace has got any monopolies on anything, including always getting it right. And when it comes to public speaking, I have found that the best bit of advice I've had is less is often more. And so to you all, I'm going to say congratulations and well done on your tremendous achievements. With you in the driving seat, we have real future competitive advantage, I know that. Whilst finding the right job just now might be really hard, never ever be put off. It will come good, and no one can take your degree away. They can only build on it. I think it was George Bernard Shaw who said, "You see things and you say, why? I dream things that never were, and I say, why not?" Maybe some of you will go on to set up your own businesses. I hope so, for the challenge and excitement in our fast-moving world is massively rewarding. I began by saying thank you to this wonderful university, and I will conclude in the same way, but not just to the university this time. My personal achievements have been wholly contingent on the support, help, and love of my wonderful family. My husband John, my son Liam, and my daughter Abby. I am so proud of you all, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your encouragement and for always being there. You're special people, and you make life worth living. My only sadness is that Nan and Grandad aren't here today to see this. So, very finally, I'm sure everyone will join with me to wish you, the graduands today and the leaders of tomorrow, a wonderfully bright and successful future. Enjoy today as more hard work starts tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. I now invite Jean Mulhall to present Grant Chapman for the degree of Master of Arts honoris causa.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, Salford graduands, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you today Grant Chapman. Grant is no stranger to Salford or to Salford University. He was born in Salford, only 2 miles from the university, and is now Director of Chapman Homes, one of the country's leading providers of outside catering and corporate event services based in Eccles. Grant was destined to work in the food industry, having begun his working life at the age of 13 in his father's fish and chip shop and cafeteria in Chapel Street, only minutes away from the university. On finishing his secondary education at Bewell Hill High School, he enrolled on a hospitality and catering course at Salford Technical College, which later became part of the University of Salford. Here, he gained distinction grades and is fondly remembered by some of the staff who taught him, who are now staff of the business school. He then went to work as a chef in a variety of hotels, including the Midland in Manchester and Broughton Park in Preston. And within 4 years, he was a general manager of a luxury hotel in Norwich. Grant is a flamboyant character, and he found that the structure and restriction of hotel management didn't really suit him. So he decided to branch out and set up his own company. In 1988, at the age of 23, Grant set up Chapman Homes, along with his school friend, Stuart Holmes. Despite working from his mother's kitchen, the company quickly progressed, and they catered for over 50 events in their first year. 2 years later, Chapman Homes became a limited company, and their first event under this status was the official opening of the Conway Tunnel, with 2,000 guests and lasting 4 days. Chapman Homes was involved in the organisation of logistical support, interior design, cuisine, security and venue. And on the final day, 600 delegates attended, including Queen Elizabeth II as guest of honour. 20 years later, Chapman Homes has become one of the largest one-off bespoke event caterers in the northwest of England, catering at over 18 stately homes and listing the National Trust, Bentley, HMV, Ford and Barclays amongst their clients. Grant regularly supports our students on the leisure industries programmes. Both he and his staff carry out guest lectures on events management, and he is a provider of work placements and work experience. In fact, many of our students go on to work at Chapman Homes, either part-time whilst pursuing their studies or full-time after they have graduated. Not surprisingly, Grant has particular links with the hospitality programme and students. He regularly donates and prepares a Christmas event for the first-year students and has often helped out in times of crisis. He once offered the use of his kitchen for teaching students when the university facilities were unavailable. He is also a keen supporter of the Fairbridge charity in both Salford and Liverpool, which supports young people in underprivileged areas. He does this by donating and organising events for them. In conclusion, Grant is the epitome of widening participation. He comes from a working class background and through hard work and dedication is now a well-known and respected businessman in the North West. Grant relates well to our students and often gives them the encouragement and motivation to carry on with their education. He finished his studying a long time ago, but through years of experience, he is able to offer guidance to students who wish to follow the path of hospitality as a career. He is an excellent example, not only to our students, but to many young people. And he is a strong champion for the often underrated hospitality and food professions. Chancellor, I present for the degree of Master of Arts Honoris Causa, Grant Chapman.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer on you the degree of Master of Arts Honoris Causa. Many congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean, for those very kind words, and welcome. I'm sure, like all of you here today, are extremely proud of their achievements to date. I am additionally proud for some of the reasons that Jean have mentioned. Having schooled in Salford, as Jean correctly said, a lot of my friends and family are still from the Salford area, in the city of Salford area, and my company is based in Salford. We were offered incentives to move out of the area to Warrington, to the industrial estates, but I wanted to keep it in the area that made me what I am today. How fantastic is it to be awarded such an honour as I am today by the university of my hometown, where I was actually educated and still consult at. It's fantastic. There is one question, though, I'd like to ask. Patrick Trodden, who a number of you know, sat on my right-hand side, taught me some 25 years ago-ish. Now the question is, why does Patrick look younger now than he did 25 years ago? Is it the tea at Salford University or the soap? I'm not so sure. Now, on a personal basis, it's not easy being the only boy in a house with two sisters. I must get this out now, to be honest. Two sisters, both with degrees. Two sisters as bright as buttons. Hazel, my older sister, sat on the right, has a degree in law. Having said this, it has helped me out now and then, in times of confusion. And my younger sister, hopefully, is watching me today from Canada, who also has a degree. Now, Hazel, I'm as bright as you. And both of you can't pick on me anymore. Seriously, though, being successful in any walk of life does call and demand sacrifice. I cannot recall how many family occasions, away days, pals' weddings I've missed through work pressures. But this is the dedication that's required if you're going to reach the top in your chosen field. There are two small readings which I look at now and then, which you should try and look up for the ones who don't know them. There's one by Rudyard Kipling, the famous writer of Jungle Book, who wrote a little poem called If, and another called Desiderata by an unknown writer. Again, do have a look, and if you can learn a little bit from those two and pick up even 1 point, I feel we'll all be better people for it. Finally, if I can give you any advice today, is that if you want it enough, you will be able to achieve it. All of you. I never really realised that in the younger days, thinking I wasn't so educated, I hadn't had the start of some other people, but you can, if you want it enough. But remember, you must enjoy what you do, which is the first and foremost. Work hard, play hard, and always try and smile. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Grant. We now proceed to the award of postgraduate and undergraduate degrees.
Ladies and gentlemen, postgraduate students will be presented individually for their award. Chancellor, on behalf of the Informatics Research Institute, I present for the award of Doctor of Philosophy, Beryl Joan Burns. David Paul McQuinney. And Janice Elizabeth Watley. And on behalf of the Management and Management Sciences Research Institute, also for the award of Doctor of Philosophy, Saeed Abdallah Al-Mutawa. Ghazi Atef Samawi. And Alexander Belgorodsky.
Chancellor, on behalf of the Faculty of Business Law and the Built Environment, Salford Business School, I present for the award of Master of Arts, Tourism Management, Zai Ching. And for Master of Science, E-Governance, Dennis Martin McGrath. Nuruddin Muhammad Y. Ojo. And for Master of Science Events Management, Tanjia Bashor. And for Master of Science Food Quality Management, Zahano Iona. Rejoice Naniskililo Kumalo. Krzysztof Orsic Mozeneski. Xian Wang. And Yusi Zhang. And for Master of Science, Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point, Vincent John Adams. Rachel Jenny Buckley. Savia Lorraine Hughes. Denise Islip. Colin Joss. James Michael Parr. Mary Ann Isabel Sampson. Kelly Jane Shields. Brian Glenn Slater. Helen Louise Stott. And Kathleen Wilson Murphy. And for Master of Science, Information Security Management, Rock Conard Azukan Okima Ba. And for Master of Science, Information System, Catherine Jumai Abba. And Manish Punjabi. Tigist Shibabo Wuli. And for Master of Science, Information Technology, Babatundi Ologabinka Odioni I. And for Master of Science, International Banking and Finance, Franklin Idobor Agbuma. Hannah Ahmed. Talal Al-Mukabbali. Regina Bima Amankwa. Theophile Jomesi Tonal. J. Gong. Khalid Hashmi. Badrul Huda. Ne Ankara Height. Adnan Ahmed Jonijo. Nan Lang. Mixi Liu. Anisha Ann Philip. Shinya Kiao, Sagavanish Siviraj, Benedict Oriazotti Ikato, Paulina Zimi, Yanyan Zhang, Xiao Ting Zhou, and for Master of Science International Tourism Management, Emma Kirkman. And Rolandus Virakas. And for Master of Science Managing Business Performance, Priti N. Zinyamba. And for Master of Science Managing Business with Information Technology, Kuarwal Said Gibnaro. Abdullah Imam. Jiangli Wang. And Susanna Eloise Lorraine Waterhouse. And for Master of Science Managing Information Technology, Chaudhry Ishtiaq Ahmed. Muhammad Waqar Ahmed. Muhammad Akmal. Osama Monaj. Thivaraja Nardin Sanga. Santosh Tadi Reddy. And Fahd Salim. And for Master of Science, Operational Research and Applied Statistics, Dominique Fletcher. Wujiriyai Mambandi. Feng Niu. And Robert Reed. And for Master of Science, Purchasing and Logistics, Volkan Karaka. Jessica Nasali. Martin Jamori Oiwoyon. And for Master of Science, Supply Chain Management and Logistics, Nantwert Shapira Zart. Zayu Shin. Chao Ding. Li Jia Fan. Joan Fin Lin, Hang Liu, Lin Fing Pan, Oxiang Q, Chen Shi, Yanting Song, Dahing Wang, Liang Yan, and Miao Zhao. And for postgraduate diploma, Health Informatics, Krishana Rao Vanama. And for postgraduate diploma, Project Management, David Corton. And for postgraduate certificate, Hazard Analysis, Critical Control Point, Muhammad Muhammadi. And for postgraduate certificate, Managing Information Technology, Naomi Natasha Richman.
Ladies and gentlemen, undergraduate students will be presented for their awards in groups of 3. We will be grateful if applause could take place after the final name in each group of 3 is announced. Chancellor, on behalf of Salford Business School, I present for the award of Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Events Management, Gaynor Jones, Isolde Conch, and Yang Lee. Barbara Reid. For the award of Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Hospitality and Tourism Management, Julmira Antonio, Andrew Brown, Nan Feng. For the award of Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Hospitality Management, Chelsea Burns, Sarah Glover, Yi Tin Lau. Alexandra Leather, Robert Lee, Catherine Oxley. Zin Pu, Geneva Tang, Qing Kao Wang. For the award of Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Leisure and Tourism Management, Umar Ghazi, Sanila Karamethic, Stephen Mosby. Samantha Thompson. For the award of Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Sport and Leisure Management, Zahar Anwar, Ryan Baldwin, Daniel Bowler. Richard Berman, Vais Butt, and Carl Cobain. James Collinge, James Dunley and Joel Ecolongini. Tyrone Foster, Zach Greenwood and Kimberly Gregory. Peter Hadfield, Robert Halsall, Philip Hardy. Samuel Hind, Kira Johal, Gareth Jones. Stephen Kamara, Matthew Keeling, Fergal Keys. Adam Knight, Claire Laurie, Alan MacDonald. Chris Paraskiva, Dean Peltier, Craig Renison. Martin Ratcliffe, Christian Schemmeldine, Christopher Sugden. Carlos Taylor, Christopher Yates, Stuart Yearsley. Sarah Zafar. For the Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Tourism Management, Rachel Banerjee, Noreen Coleman and Kirsty Entwistle. Lee Froggatt, Magda Greisen, Magdalena Ignatovic. Meliku Kibe, Elizabeth Kelleher and Simon Lee. Amvin Majid, Marja Malanoska, Tony Mallon. Christine McGuirga, Lorna Mannon, Marta Mataska. Catherine McEwen, Victoria Medding, Bradley Meader. Blondine Mukahura, Christine Newell and Remy Nessingumva. Kevin Ray, Anina Sala, Evelyn Salou. Katarzyna Sierra Sinoska, Nadia Tolbert and Kim Tyrrell. Adam Walton, Matthew Whittaker, Darren Wilson. Zizou. For the Bachelor of Arts Ordinary Hospitality and Tourism Management, Gareth McMullen. For the Bachelor of Arts Ordinary Tourism Management, Maria Sana. For the Foundation Degree Arts, Sport and Exercise Management, Hayley Chancellor, Richard Greste and Sarah O'Neill. For the Foundation Degree Arts, Sport and Leisure Management, Emily Hagan, Lynn Hall, James Wright. For the Foundation Degree Arts Tourism Management, Saadia Chowdhury.
Chancellor, on behalf of the Faculty of Business, Law and the Built Environment, Salford Business School, I present for the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours Business Finance, Aditola Modiu Adeyi, Hassan Adres Atia Ali. Oliwakayode Ali, Christila Marie Biguel Anguilo, Asma Arshad. Jason Austin, Stembili Chiradza, Kenneth Emily Fonwu. Zine Gong, Beverly Ann Griffiths, Trui Fong Hoong. Awais Hussain, Tilde Musika Mapumba, Louis David Mendy. Anita Kumari Patel, Ting Ting Ki, Zakwala Qureshi. Tom Said, Pui Wong, Najib Yaghubi. Faisal Yousaf and Kuo Fu Yong. Kuo Fong Yu.
And for the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Business Information Systems, Nafisa Ahmed, Niall Brown, Paolo Sergio Carrillo. James Edward Durkin, Emilios Hadjihannes, Christoph Kazuba. Stiliana Kukuli, Nicola Wake Lee, Matthew John Lonsdale. Abid Ramtula, Akbar Ali Shah, Adibambo Anot Shakoya. Manjit Singh, Aidan Michael Woodward, Elmar Yusuf Zaidi. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Business Information Technology, Mohammed Haroon Abbas, Wahid Ahmed, Sohail Ahmed Dean. And Christina Mihaela Vasilika. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours in E-Commerce Systems, Anisha Iyer, Christopher David Ellison. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Information Technology, Mike Chapman, Gary Files, James Holehouse. Mujtabazeb Khan, Philip David Swinburne and Philip James Thorpe.
Chancellor, on behalf of Salford Business School, I present for the award of Foundation Degree Arts, Business Management, Finance Stream, James Fitzgerald, Freelander Nunarai, Imran Pira. For the Foundation Degree Arts in Business Management, Marketing Stream, Lauren Bridgman, Keira Hibbert and David Taylor. For the Foundation Degree Science in Community Governance, Julie Butler, Stephanie Harling and Angela McCarthy. Samantha Natasha Paisley, Nicola Shan, Kevin Walker. And Stephen John Westhead. For the Higher National Diploma in Business and Finance, Finance Option, Venceslau Kahalo, Saba Gauss and Mark Levington. For the Higher National Diploma in Business and Finance, Marketing Option, Zahid Ahmed, Kimberly Alabas and Baba Qureshi. For the Higher National Diploma in Business and Finance, Personnel Option, Sabia Khatun. For the MSc in Corporate Risk Management, Cynthia Berger. For the Master of Science in Food Quality Management, Raphael Ogunrinda. For the Higher National Diploma in Business and Finance, Personnel Option, Habiba Fatima. For the Bachelor of Science with Honours in Business Information Systems, Jose Fernandez. For the Higher National Diploma in Business and Finance, Finance Option, Shazad Khan. For the Bachelor of Science with Honours in Business Finance, Rizwan Karim. The Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Hospitality and Tourism Management, Marloes Grampel. For Leisure and Tourism Management, Alina Timoshina. For the Bachelor of Science with Honours in Business Finance, Rohin Vara. For the Foundation Degree Arts in Hospitality and Tourism Management, Danielle Ruku. For the Foundation Degree Arts in Hospitality Management, Hayley Ruku. For the Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Tourism Management, Sarah Danby. For the Bachelor of Science with Honours, Business Information Systems, Philbert Marango. For the Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Leisure and Tourism Management, Sharon Mkiwani. For the Master of Science in Food Quality Management, Maleha Khan. For the Master of Science in International Banking and Finance, Temwa Banda. For the Foundation Degree in Business Management, Finance Stream, Averon David Branwood. For the Bachelor of Science with Honours in Business Information Systems, Gastio Figueiredo. For the Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Hospitality Management, Cassiva Woolridge. For the Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Sport and Leisure Management, Jainal Ahmed. For the Bachelor of Science with Honours in Business Finance, Chiana Mabiwakiri. For the Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Event Management, Kalim Yaqib. For the Higher National Diploma in Business and Finance, Mohammed Asher.
Before we close the ceremony, can I suggest we join in a rousing round of applause for all our new graduates? Can I ask our graduates please to put their caps on? Can I ask you all to rise? I declare the ceremony closed.
That's all from the second session here at the Lowry. Later this afternoon, more graduates of Salford Business School and Salford Law School will receive their awards. Plus, there'll be an honorary award bestowed upon the Chief Executive as the Andy Bond. So why not join me at 4:15?